welcome back to another nail video. Today I will be doing both of my hands. I'm doing short square polygel nails, and of course I am starting my prep by gently pushing back my cuticles with a cuticle pusher. And this step is very important because you want to make sure that you are getting all of your new growth. That way this will help prevent your nails from lifting by exposing your entire nail bed. So yep, again, I'm doing both hands. And then after I'm done pushing back my cuticles, I am using a fine grit sanding band to gently remove the shine from my natural nail. This is going to remove all of the oils that accumulate on your natural nails. And this will just help again with my nail retention. And in today's video, I am using the SM200F nail drill by Melody Susie. And if you haven't gotten the chance, I highly suggest that you review my last video where I did do a review on this nail drill, and I absolutely love it. It's very lightweight, compact, but extremely powerful, and not noisy or anything. So I do love this drill. And I just take my time on my left and my right hand, just removing the shine. And since I am doing my right hand, I actually put the nail drill in reverse because I am going in the opposite direction. Then I use my small cone nail drill bit to go around my cuticle area once more. And again, I'm just trying to remove any excess skin or cuticle that may be left on my nail bed. I'm also trying to push up my cuticle once more just to make sure that I am exposing my entire nail bed as much as possible, as well as lifting my cuticles up so that when it's time for me to nip them, I know exactly what to nip. Then I use my cuticle ball nail drill bit to go around my cuticle area, and this just helps smooth out the skin around my cuticle area, which in my opinion just makes the nails look more polished and professional. And these are how my nails look after they're nice and prepped. I forgot to press record on me cutting off my cuticles, so I apologize about that. But I use the Lion Vision nail tips and my favorite nail glue, KDS nail glue. And I went ahead and glued and cut down my nail tips off camera. And now I am using that same fine grit sanding band that I used earlier in the video to remove the shine from my natural nail, to just blend the nail tip into my natural nail. Now this step is important as well, because it just makes for a much smoother application. And sometimes when you don't do this step, when you don't blend the tip in with your natural nail, there's like a little hump in the nail after the application is done. So in order to avoid that, I definitely suggest that you blend the nail tip in with your natural nail. And once I'm done blending my nail tips, I am using Mia's Secret Acid Free No Burn Primer. And I'm just applying a thin layer of primer to each nail. And primer is a must if you want your nails to last. Then I'm using Madam Glam's base coat, and I'm applying a thin layer of base coat to each nail. Again, I am doing short square polygel nails today. So one of the first steps for your polygel application is to apply a thin layer of base coat, and this just gives the polygel a sticky or tacky layer, so it's easier for the product to adhere. And then I cure that hand for 30 seconds. And today I'm using Beetle's Polygel. And I'm just applying a small bead of polygel to the center of each nail. I like to do my polygel in layers. So I start off with a very thin layer, cure that layer, and then I add another one. So I'm just taking my time and patting this product down and pushing it back towards the cuticle area. I want to try to get this product as flat as possible without removing any product. So I am taking my time and I'm using a very light hand. So that's what I do on all these nails. Just take my time and pat the product down and move it down towards the tip of the nail. Again, since I'm working with polygel, I can use as much time as needed to get a smooth application, because the product isn't going to dry until the nails are cured. And of course, I want to make sure that I clean up around the cuticle area as well as my sidewalls, because I don't want to cure any product to my skin. And once the nails are completely covered with product and I've removed all of the additional polygel off of my cuticle, I go ahead and cure these nails for about 60 seconds. Then I'm pretty much going to repeat the same steps as before. Place a small bead of polygel in the center of the nail, and then I'm just using my brush to pat that product down while I'm pushing it towards the cuticle area. And I want to make sure that I am getting the product as flat as possible. Again, these are going to be short nails, so you don't really need a very high apex. The structure will already be there. So I'm just going to repeat these steps on all of the nails, patting the product down and pushing it back towards the cuticle area. And of course, before I cure my nails, I'm going to remove any of the excess product from my skin and around the cuticle area. And once I'm done with my second layer, I go ahead and cure this hand for 60 seconds. And then of course, I'm going to repeat these same steps to my right hand. I'm going to apply a thin layer of the Mia Secret Acid Free No Burn Primer to each nail. And then once I'm done with this, I'm going to apply a very thin layer of Madam Glam's base coat to each nail. And after I'm done with the layer of base coat, I'm going to cure this hand for about 30 seconds. And then I'll begin my polygel application. And once that hand has cured, I'm applying a small bead of this Beetles Polygel to the center of each nail. And then I'm using my brush to pat that product down while I push it towards the cuticle area. Again, I like my nails nice and flat as well as natural looking. So I try to keep them as thin as possible and make sure that I'm really getting up all the product around the cuticle area so that it has a nice and clean look once the application and the filing is done, and it looks just like it's growing out of my hand. Also, I think I forgot to mention that I am using 90% alcohol as my slip solution. To me, it just works best. I never have any problems when I use alcohol as a slip solution. So I highly suggest if you're at home or you're trying polygel for the first time, try using alcohol as your slip solution, and just see how you like it. So yeah, I'm going to continue to do this for all of my nails. Again, I like to layer my polygel. So this is just going to be the first thin layer. I'm going to go ahead and cure this hand for 60 seconds. And then I will be applying another thin layer that you'll see in just a second. And I am doing 4 fingers at once just because this will save me a lot of time. I think I've had a lot of practice using polygel, so I am comfortable with doing 4 fingers at once. But if you're not comfortable, I would suggest just trying to do 2 fingers, cure, and then do the other 2. And these are how the nails look after the polygel application. Off camera, I went ahead and sprayed the nails with some alcohol and just used a paper towel to remove the sticky or tacky layer that is left behind from the polygel. And now I'm just using my 5-in-1 nail drill bit to seal the cuticles. So I'm going around the cuticle area as well as across the top of the nail, horizontally and vertically across the top of the nail. And this is just to try to get the nails as thin as possible. I know I keep repeating myself, but I like my nails to be a little thinner and natural looking. So I'm using this 5-in-1 nail drill bit to thin the nails out. Um, and I'm just going to repeat these same steps on all of the nails. As you see here, I am going underneath the nail to try my best to remove any of that excess polygel that may have been cured underneath the nail. To me, if you just leave that product there, it causes the nails to look thicker or more bulkier than they actually are. So I definitely go ahead and file underneath the tip of the nail, just again to try to keep them as thin as possible. Then I'm using my fine grit sanding band to file the nails once again. I'm going around the cuticle area as well as across the top of the nail horizontally and vertically, and this just helps to get this product as smooth as possible and kind of remove any lumps or bumps that may still be left on the surface of the nail. And I'm going to do this for each one of my nails. I'm taking my time. I'm actually not applying any pressure to the e-file. I'm just letting the nail drill do all the work itself. And these are how the nails look after they've been filed, shaped, and buffed. Off camera, I went ahead and used my 80/80 grit nail file, hand file, to go ahead and crispen up my shape. Now I am using Madam Glam's base coat, and I'm just applying a very thin layer of base coat to each nail. And I went ahead and cured that base coat for 30 seconds. Next, I'm using Madam Glam gel polish in the color Sorcerer's Stone. And I'm just applying a very thin layer of this beautiful, I would say it's like a burnt orange color, to my first finger, my ring finger, my pinky, and my thumb. I'm going to be doing just a little nail art on a couple of my nails, specifically my middle finger. That is why I won't be applying this gel polish to the entire nail for my middle finger. And of course, I am doing both hands in this video. So what I do to one hand, I go ahead and mimic and do to the other. And of course, I am repeating these same steps on my opposite hand. And one thing I learned about polishing your nails using your non-dominant hand, if you keep your hand on a nice flat surface, it just makes the process so much easier. Next, I'm using Madam Glam in the color Coconut as well as the color Perfect Black. And these are just going to be my accent colors for my nail art today. And I decided to kind of do like a cheetah print design on my first finger and my ring finger, as well as my middle finger. So I'm just using my dotting tool and just making sporadic dots to kind of mimic the shape or look of cheetah print. Then I'll go ahead and cure that for about 30 seconds. And then I use the color Perfect Black, which is one of my favorite blacks. I think Madam Glam, their formula is so great when it comes to black. It has a really great consistency and I absolutely love it. But I'm just using that and my dotting tool to kind of outline my cheetah print design. And once I'm done, I'm going to go ahead and cure these nails for an additional 30 seconds. And these are how the nails turned out. I think they're so cute. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next nail video.